Hi guys, it's me again. So today I'm going to do a tutorial on how I play Songbird, originally written by Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac, but this version that I do is Eva Cassidy's version, although she's playing quite a complicated guitar part on her version, so mine's much more stripped down and simpler. That said, it is a bit more involved than some of the other songs that I've done tutorials on so far. If you could sort of bear with me, I'll try my best to show you what I'm doing. There's kind of quite a few new things that I'll have to show you in this song, so there's kind of hammer-ons and things like that, so I'll explain a bit more about that later, but first of all we'll learn the chords. So the chords for this song are C, G, A minor, E minor, and then I think those are all the chords. Yeah, I think those are all the chords. Oh no, there's a D as well. Sorry, and the D comes in the chorus. So for the verses, it's just C, G, A minor, E minor, C, and G again. And then for the choruses, it goes D, C, E minor, C, D, G. Apart from the second time round on the chorus, which goes like that all the way through, except there's a repeat of like never before again, which is G, D, C and G. So first of all I'm going to show you how to play C. So you want to put your first finger on the first fret of your B string, so that's there, and then your second finger wants to go on the second fret, you see, of the D string, and then your third finger, you see there, goes on your third fret of your A string. So altogether that should sound like this. I'll show you the finger picking pattern for these later, but for now I'll just show you the chord shapes. And then your next chord is G, so you want to put your second finger on the second fret of your A string, and then your third finger goes on the third fret of your bottom E string, and then your little finger goes on your third fret of your top E. So it sounds like that all together. That's G. And then your A minor is kind of starts off similar to your C chord. So you want to put your first finger on your first fret of the second string up, so that's your B string, and then your second finger again goes on your D string in the second position, so on the second fret, and this time your third finger goes directly underneath that second finger, so that's on your G string on the second fret. So altogether that sounds like this. I should just say, as I've said before in other tutorials that I've done, that some of the chords require you to play all of the strings, so like your G chord or your E minor chord, whereas your C chord and your A minor chord, for those ones you just play your top 5 strings, and for your D chord you just play your top 4 strings. So where did I get up to? So A minor, so now I'm on E minor, right? So you need to put your second finger rather, on the 2nd fret of your A string, and then directly underneath that, on the string below, you want to put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of your D string, and that's E minor, so you play all your strings for that. Although if you're finger picking, obviously that you might not be playing all of your strings, depending on the picking pattern that you use, but it's just a chord that you can play all the strings on. Some of the chords you can't, because they would sound wrong in that chord. So then lastly is your D chord. So you need to put your 1st finger on your 3rd string up on the 2nd fret, so that's on your G string. Then your 2nd finger goes 2 strings below that on the 2nd fret, so on the top E string on the 2nd fret, that's where you want to put your 2nd finger, and then your 3rd finger makes a sort of triangle shape and goes on the 3rd fret of your B string, and then you just play the top 4 strings for that. So that's your D. Those are your chords. So your basic picking pattern that I'm using for this tune is, I'll demonstrate it with the C chord. So you want to, as I've said in other videos, use your thumb for the bottom 3 strings, and they can move around depending on which which chord you're playing. And then you want to sort of hover your 3 fingers here. They want to be hovering around the top 3 strings, or resting on them depending on what you're doing. And you want to play your A string first with your thumb, and then with your index finger or your 1st finger you play your G string, and then go down 1 again, so your middle finger plays your B string, and then your 3rd finger plays your top E. So far, and then back up, so back up to your B string, and then back up to your G string, and then back down again to your B string, and back up to your G string. So all the way through, slowly. And in some places you'll play that pattern a couple of times through. Sometimes you might play it 3 times through, depending on where it is in the song that you're playing. This is quite a flowy sort of song, so it doesn't necessarily, it's kind of quite voice led, so it doesn't necessarily fit a rigid pattern of how many times you've got to play each chord. So that was how to play it on the C chord, and then on your G chord you just do the same, but you're using your thumb to pick the bottom E string instead of your A string, which you'd use for your C and your A minor. So and the only other one that's different is the D. So your D chord, you use your thumb to pluck the D string. So and sometimes on some of the chords, in certain parts of the song where I want to kind of prolong the note a bit, or make it seem a bit softer, a bit more gentle, I don't always kind of follow that pattern too rigidly. I just tend to play what sort of seems to fit in that particular space, but I'll demonstrate that later when I'm showing you how the whole song goes. So the next thing I need to tell you about is the hammer-ons. I don't do an awful lot of these all the way through the song, but there are a few. There's one at the beginning, and then there's a sort of interlude in between the first chorus and the second verse, and then there's a little bit more hammering on the ending, and the hammer-ons come on the C and the G chords, but at the beginning we just start off with doing it on the G chord. So for the G, you want to have your ordinary G shape, and then you go and then back again, and then so what I was doing there was hammering my first finger on the first fret of the B string, and it's the third note from the end. So you play the ordinary tune, so you hammer on, see that? So it's just quickly putting your finger down, so you play the string and then you hammer it on, and then you play the string again with it on, and then take it off, and play the string again. So that's all on your B string there. So I'll just do that again. So it goes through the sequence twice, and then you finish up with that on your last 3 notes. So once again, off, on, off. And then for your C hammer on, that's what comes in along with the G hammer on in the central part, so in the sort of interval part where you're just playing a little link section between the chorus and the second verse. So for that hammer on, you need to make your ordinary C shape, and then your little finger is your hammer, and you put it onto your D string on the 3rd fret. You hammer on your D string, and you go 1, so 1 on your thumb on the A string, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go down and back up, and then when you get to almost to the point of going round again, instead of doing that, you hammer on and then you pluck your G string, and then back to your A string. And that's mainly all that needs to be told. So I'll try and demonstrate how to play the. So you start with your sort of intro part, which is just around your C and your G. So you start with your C and you do your main pattern. And then into your G, and then your hammer on comes in. So you go twice through each chord and finish the G with your hammer on. So I'll just show you that again. And then you go into your verse, so back to C. play the G 3 times there, and then you go into your A minor and to your E minor, back to C, so that's what I meant about not filling the pattern quite all the way through. So I'm just going back up the strings again. Nothing too rigid, you can change it up if you feel the need takes you, and you can then go into your G on the I Know It's Right, and then your D and the Songbirds, keep singing C like they know the score, and then on E minor you pluck so you do the tune once, the picking pattern rather, and then you do the same, but then you pluck the top 2 strings at the same time, and then back to your G string, and then back to the top strings again, so like this. And then into your C, just once down for your D, and then into your G chord, and then this comes into the interlude rather, so this is where your hammer on for your C comes. If I can play it properly. And then into your G chord, into your hammer on again, and then into your second verse, so your C twice round, and your G, and your C, and then your G again, back into your A minor, E minor, C. So there I was just doing a similar thing to the first time at this point in the verse. So just going back up the strings again. And then into your G. D. And your chorus, C. E minor. And those top 2 strings again. And then into your C. D. G. Play that a bit longer, and then into your D on the Like Never Before, Like Never, C again, before, back to G, and then we finish with a hammer on, but this time I play the top 2 strings at the same time when I'm hammering on, so when I've taken the the hammer off, I finish on the top 2 strings. So it's like a little harmony to finish at the end there. And that's it really. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and you find it helps you to play a version of this song yourself. And who knows, you'll probably be playing it a lot better than I do by the end of it. And you can play along with me, or you can play and learn the song completely by yourself. And happy guitaring, guys. Thank you. Bye.